The dragon twins asked. "Why do you protect us?" The human cried. "Because you mean everything to me." The grand dining hall of the Galactic Council fell silent as Ambassador Throckville slammed all four of his crystalline fists on the table. His mineral body glowed an angry orange. "This is unacceptable," he roared. "3 diplomatic dinners have failed this month alone." The Aquari delegates became ill from the silicon-based appetizers. The flame speakers nearly extinguished when served water-based soup. And yesterday, the Chlorans walked out because their photosynthetic meal was served in complete darkness. Counselor Vess, a tall being made of flowing liquid, rippled with concern. "We have tried everything. Our best food programmers cannot create meals that satisfy all species. Perhaps we should simply stop having shared dinners. When we stop eating together, we stop understanding each other. Does anyone know of a species that understands food diversity? They can eat almost anything, and their planet has thousands of different cuisines. They even eat food from other cultures for fun. What could they possibly teach us? One human chef might know how to prepare 50 different dishes. Chairman, I propose we contact Earth and request assistance." She had sent the request to Earth, explaining the situation and asking for their best food expert. The response had been enthusiastic, perhaps too enthusiastic. Earth's government had sent someone, but they seemed very young. The human who stepped off the transport ship was tall by Pip's standards, with dark skin and warm brown eyes. She carried a large metal box and wore a white jacket. "Hi, I'm Maya Chen," the human said with a bright smile. "Thanks for the invitation. This is incredible. I mean, cooking for aliens. This is literally every chef's dream. Started in my grandmother's restaurant when I was 12. She patted her metal box. "I brought my knives and some basic ingredients, though I'll probably need to shop local, right? I'm guessing you don't have garlic or ginger here." "Flavor enhancers from Earth plants," Maya explained. "Don't worry, we'll figure it out. So when's my first dinner service?" And they all eat different things. You know, in culinary school, they taught us that cooking is about understanding needs and preferences. My grandmother used to cook for a neighborhood full of people with different diets. Vegan, kosher, halal, allergies, you name it. She said a good chef doesn't just follow recipes. A good chef learns people. I need to understand what they eat, how they eat, and why they eat. Then we'll plan a menu. She wanted to know about their homeworld temperatures, their atmosphere preferences, their cultural food traditions. She pulled out a small device and took notes frantically. When they passed the Aquari quarters, Maya noticed the humid, water-rich environment. "They absorb nutrients through water?" she asked. "Yes, but the minerals must be precisely balanced." "Carbon-based, usually." "This is going to be challenging," Maya said, staring at her notes. "But you know what? I think I can do this. Not because I'm special, but because this is what humans do. We adapt, we learn, we bring people together over food." "You truly believe you can create a successful dinner?" "I have a lot of work to do before tomorrow night." There were energy converters, molecular reorganizers, and something called a thermal plasma chamber. "This is all automated," Pip explained, hopping onto a counter. "You program what you want and the machines create it." Machines follow formulas. They don't adjust for mood or preference. They can't taste and correct. She walked around the space, opening compartments. "Where's the actual cooking area? Fire, heat sources, cutting surfaces?" Food preparation has been automated for thousands of years across most civilized species. "We're going to need some supplies shipped up here fast." "Okay," she muttered to herself. "Group 1, traditional eaters. Mouths, digestive systems, they actually chew and swallow. That's 20 species right there. Group 2, absorbers. They take in nutrients through skin or specialized membranes. That's 12 species. Group 3, energy-based. They consume power or specific wavelengths. 8 species. Group 4, photosynthesizers. They need light and specific chemicals. 7 species. When you have a big dinner party, you group people by similar needs, then find the common threads." She pointed at the holographic display of a chlorin. "These folks need light and chlorophyll-like compounds. On Earth, we have plants that do the same thing. So I need to think like a plant chef. That's like creating a controlled campfire in food form." This was bigger than any restaurant service, bigger than any cooking competition. This was about connection. As dawn broke, Maya finally had a plan. She gently woke Pip. I need to meet with representatives from each species, Maya said. Not the ambassadors, regular people. Can you arrange that? The human chef sat with each one, asking questions that surprised them. To a young Aquari student, she asked, "What meal reminds you of home?" When the minerals are balanced with a slight copper undertone, it reminds me of my birth pool. Got it. It is like your human concept of savoring food. I love when the light is warm but not too bright, and the minerals taste sweet like morning dew. The delivery crew wheeled in portable induction cookers, hand tools, and containers of basic earth ingredients. Maya immediately got to work, transforming a corner of the automated kitchen into something more familiar. Pip watched as Maya unpacked knives, pots, and pans. You are really going to cook by hand? My grandmother used it, my mother used it, and now I use it. Tools carry memory. When you cook with care, people can taste it. But then she made individual variations, adjusting seasonings and textures for each species' preferences. For the absorbers, she worked with the molecular reorganizers, but she manually adjusted the mineral compositions based on the conversations she had earlier. The copper undertone for the Aquari, a silicon harmony for the rock-based beings. For the energy consumers, she collaborated with the station's engineers to create power sources that were not just functional but elegant. Different wavelengths presented like a rainbow of choices. For the photosynthesizers, she designed light arrangements. Using her knowledge of earth plants, she combined appropriate chemical compounds with perfectly calibrated lighting that would create not just nutrition but an experience. As evening approached, Ambassador Throckville entered the kitchen. He had come to inspect the preparations. He expected to find chaos. Instead, he found Maya moving calmly between stations, Pip assisting by carrying ingredients in her small paws. You believe you are ready? Throckville asked, his crystal body glowing skeptically. Maya looked up, her face flushed from working near heat sources. I believe that I have prepared 47 different expressions of care. Whether that's enough, we'll find out together. And tonight, I'm going to help 47 species say something important to each other. One corner glowed with soft purple light for the photosynthesizers. Another area had specialized absorption pools for the Aquari and similar species. The energy-based beings had charging stations that looked like elegant sculptures. The traditional eaters had a long, curved table with individual place settings. Pip stood at the entrance, her small body trembling with nervousness. They are arriving, she whispered to Maya. Maya adjusted her white chef's jacket and took a deep breath. Remember, we're not just serving food, we're building bridges. Elder Zyphira was the first to speak. This is different. You'll notice I've created environmental zones based on your home world preferences. How did you know? The cards explained what would be served and why she had chosen it. Chairman Kalzeth hovered near his energy station. His voice carried surprise. This card says my meal will include a spectrum wave pattern similar to my homeworld's star. You researched our sun. Maya had written a personal note explaining that she had prepared his meal with minerals from 3 different asteroid types, creating a complex flavor profile that honored his species' mining culture. The crystal being's glow shifted from skeptical orange to a softer, curious amber. Maya returned to her kitchen area, visible to all the diners through a transparent partition. Pip had suggested hiding the kitchen, but Maya refused. They should see the work, she had said. It builds trust. The Chlorins and other plant-based beings rustled their leaves in appreciation. A young Chlorin named Seed spoke up shyly. It tastes like sweet morning. How is this possible? I added trace amounts of natural sugars that plants on your world produce at dawn. Your body recognizes them. Each being received their customized wavelength, but the overall effect was harmonious. Chairman Kalzeth brightened intensely. This is extraordinary. I have never experienced nutrition as beauty before. On Earth, we have fireworks and light shows. This is similar, just edible. As she poured the solution for Counselor Vess, the liquid being rippled with colors Maya had never seen before. This is happiness, Vess said softly. This tastes like happiness. Maybe you can taste that intention. She had prepared a central dish that all could eat, a protein blend that was safe and nutritious for everyone. But around this centerpiece, she had created individual accompaniments. For Throckville, crystallized minerals that crunched pleasantly, arranged in patterns that represented his homeworld's famous cave systems. For Elder Zyphira, seeds and grains prepared in the style of her people's harvest festivals. For each being, something personal. She served each plate herself, explaining the choices she had made. The council members were silent as they tasted their meals. Maya's heart pounded. Had she succeeded or failed? Then Throckville did something unusual. He stood, his massive crystal body reflecting light across the room. In his culture, standing during a meal was a sign of deep respect. "I must speak," he announced. "I came here expecting failure. I believed a human, a species so new to our council, could not possibly understand our needs." He paused, looking at his plate. "I was wrong. This meal honors my people's traditions in ways I did not expect. The mineral composition tells a story of mining and discovery. It respects my culture. Someone paid attention. Someone cared enough to research and remember. Not advanced weapons, but this, the ability to see each person as an individual worthy of care and attention." For the first time since the council had formed, 47 different species were dining together, not just eating but enjoying the experience. The room filled with conversation and laughter in dozens of languages. "No," Maya whispered back to Pip. "We did it. Together." Diplomats from distant sectors requested her presence at their negotiations. The station's news service wanted interviews. Maya sat in her small quarters, overwhelmed by the attention. Pip brought her a warm beverage, something the rabbit-like being had learned humans enjoyed in the morning. "You are famous now," Pip said cheerfully. Maya sipped the drink and smiled. "I just cooked dinner. I don't understand why everyone is making such a big deal." Ambassador Throckville sent a message to his home planet, praising Earth's contribution to galactic harmony. "Elder Zyphira has requested you prepare meals for the next 6 council sessions. I have a restaurant back on Earth. My staff is managing without me, but they need me." Chairman Kalzeth hovered in the corridor, his energy form pulsing with urgency. "Chef Maya, we have a situation," he said. "The Draxian Empire has agreed to peace talks with the Fenrir Collective. These two species have been at war for 40 years. They have requested neutral ground for negotiations, and they specifically asked if you could prepare their meals. The Draxians heard that you honored Ambassador Throckville's culture without him asking. The Fenrir heard that you researched Elder Zyphira's history. Both sides believe that if you care enough to understand what beings eat, perhaps you can help them remember that their enemies are also people with stories and traditions." "Chairman, I'm a chef, not a peacemaker. I need to understand them." "You are small," Cross observed, his voice like grinding stone. "How can someone so small understand the Draxian soul?" "General, tell me about the meals your mother made you as a child." "She made creche, a stew of mountain proteins cooked with fireroot. We ate it after battles, after victories. It was tradition. She would cook it for hours, tending the fire personally. She said the patience required to make creche taught warriors the value of strategy over rushing into battle." "I had forgotten that. We eat only plants, and we believe in causing no harm to any living thing. That is why the Draxians disgust us. They are killers. During our Festival of Lights, we eat golden grain cakes sweetened with flower nectar. Families gather in circles, sharing from one large plate to symbolize unity and equality. It means everyone gets the same portion, the same quality." Both species valued tradition. Both had food rituals that brought families together. Both used meals to teach important lessons to their young. That evening, Maya worked late in her kitchen. Pip helped where she could, though mostly she watched Maya work with quiet admiration. "You have a plan?" Pip asked. "I think so," Maya said, stirring a pot carefully. "The Draxians and Fenrir think they're completely different. They've spent 40 years focusing on their differences, but food can show them their similarities. You'll see tomorrow." General Cross and Scholar Venn sat at opposite ends of a long table with the council mediators in between. Maya entered with 2 covered dishes. The room fell silent. "Before you begin talking," Maya said, "I would like you to eat, both of you. Together." "How did you know?" "Our most sacred meal." "And Scholar Venn, I want you to offer your grain cakes to General Cross. And whether you like it or not, you're both part of the galactic family now." Maya pulled up a chair and sat between them. Let me tell you something about my grandmother. She ran a restaurant in a neighborhood where people from all over Earth lived. Chinese families, Mexican families, Indian families, African families, everyone different. Everyone convinced their way was the only right way. Not their own familiar foods, but each other's foods. She made them feed each other. It's hard to see someone as a monster when you've tasted what their mother made them with love. They didn't agree about everything. They still argued sometimes, but they saw each other as people first, different opinions second. You don't have to like each other. You don't have to end the war today. But can you try one bite of what his mother made him? Can you see the warrior as a child who was taught lessons through food, just like Fenrir children are taught through your festival cakes? Despite being a herbivore, the stew was rich with fire root and mountain herbs that even Fenrir could consume safely. Maya had made sure of it. Ven's expression shifted to surprise. It is warm, complex. There are layers of flavor that require patience to understand. Your turn, General. She understood that warriors also need sweetness sometimes. That strength isn't only about being hard. It is bright like sunrise. The council mediators watched in amazement as the two longtime enemies continued to eat, not speaking but no longer radiating pure hostility. Finally, Chairman Kalseth spoke. Shall we begin the peace discussions? Maya stayed nearby, periodically bringing small portions of different foods. She brought Draxian comfort foods to Ven, explaining the cultural significance of each. She brought Fenrir ceremonial dishes to Cross, sharing the stories behind them. Whenever tensions rose, whenever voices became loud and angry, Maya would quietly place a new dish on the table. Something that required both sides to share. Something that reminded them they were more than their conflict. By evening, real progress had been made. Not peace yet, but the first honest conversation in 40 years. General Cross and Scholar Ven agreed to a ceasefire in 3 disputed territories. They established a joint committee to discuss resource sharing. Small steps, but steps forward. As the delegations prepared to leave, General Cross approached Maya. Human chef, I must ask you something. Why do you care? This is not your war. Earth is not involved in our conflict. When people are hungry anywhere, it affects everywhere. When people are fighting anywhere, we all lose something. She believed that feeding people was the most important work anyone could do because it built connections that nothing else could. Your grandmother was wise. I would have liked to meet her. Will you teach our people your methods, Chef Maya? Perhaps if Draxian and Fenrir children learned to cook each other's foods, the next generation would not repeat our mistakes. I would be honored. Young Fenrir visited Draxian territories to understand protein preservation and fire cooking techniques. Maya moved between both worlds, teaching cooking classes that mixed both species together. The classes were awkward at first. Draxian children towered over Fenrir children. Their foods were completely different. Their languages barely overlapped. But Maya had learned that food was a language everyone understood. When a young Draxian successfully made her first golden grain cake and shared it with a Fenrir classmate, barriers began to crumble. When a young Fenrir learned to tend a cooking fire with patience and respect, understanding grew. Pip stayed with Maya throughout, serving as assistant and translator. The small rabbit-like being watched her human friend work tirelessly, never asking for recognition, never demanding payment beyond simple gratitude. One night after a particularly successful class where Draxian and Fenrir children had laughed together while cooking, Pip asked Maya a question. Do you miss Earth, your restaurant, your own people? Earth was visible, a tiny blue dot in the vast darkness. Every day, she admitted. But my grandmother taught me something important. Home isn't just a place. Home is anywhere you're feeding people who need it. Besides, I've found a new family here. A very unusual, very alien, very wonderful family. And honestly, I think this is what my grandmother would have wanted. She always said that the best restaurants serve the whole world. I'm just taking that a bit more literally. The ceremony included a traditional shared meal prepared by Draxian and Fenrir chefs working together, using techniques Maya had taught them. General Cross and Scholar Ven served the meal to their people side by side. When asked what had made peace possible, both leaders gave the same answer. A human chef who reminded them that everyone, no matter how different, shares the same basic need to eat, to remember, and to belong. Maya watched the ceremony from the crowd, refusing a place of honor on the stage. Pip sat on her shoulder. You changed the galaxy, Pip whispered. Maya shook her head. I just made dinner. The galaxy changed itself.